Hello, everybody, and welcome to another MerlinCast. And I have a very special guest with me. I have the Mr. Anime Hero.
Oh, yes.
And we decided to do French accents for some reason, but I think I can do a better one. Oh,
I
yes.
really get annoyed with that character in the because I'm pretty sure in the Salazar the recent games that they make him they give him a thicker accent for some
Yeah,
reason.
well, I guess it was just to add some distinctiveness to him. Maybe?
I don't know, to me it was just so. Then again, like the old Funimation, they were throwing so many accents. Like a lot of the demons in Yu Yu Hakusho during the Dark Tournament had like Hispanic sounding accents, but it was just whatever.
Except for the freaking, God, the guy with the
Oh yeah. Jin and
freaking.
his
I hate what would that Irish that really bad Irish accent for no reason. Like I thought he was born a demon. Was he born from? I didn't.
he was
And
born in Demon Ireland.
Demon Ireland. Yes, there's Space Australia and Demon Ireland
Oh,
now. And
Space Australia.
Space
Nice.
Australia. We get it. You're from Space Australia. All right. Well, already off to a great start. We can talk about other stuff afterwards. Whatever. That's fine. But well, Hero decided that he'd like to finally respond to my Fullmetal Alchemist tag with just kind of recording it in person. So we'll do it like an interview style. As Hero, you might know that Fullmetal Alchemist is a series that I kind of like. You know.
Oh, only kind of like. Oh, gee, I never would have noticed. Never knew that, Merlin. How long, Merlin? How long you kept this from me?
Yes, so obviously FMA I really like, and I'm kind of curious. I mean, Heroes probably mentioned this to some of us before, but I don't know if I've asked know the answers to all these questions. So I'm gonna ask you one, and take your time to think about a hero, and we're gonna get to hear the responses fresh from the manly hero himself.
Yay.
Are you ready, sir?
Fresh, like fresh bread. Fresh
Oh,
bread.
fresh Ray. So ready.
Yeah.
Fresh. I was gonna go for something like fresh meat, but that could be perceived a certain way, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
that's naughty, man.
Oh, it's too naughty. Well,
Bread
fan-
is like, it just came straight from the oven. It's all warm and toasty.
the oven has no connotations that are questionable either. Okay,
Oh,
sure.
no.
Trying to say you have an oven hero? Is that what you're trying to say?
Jeez, what are you insinuating?
We'll find out.
Oh,
All right. Oh my. Oh God, I can't promise this won't be PG. But all right. First question, hero, and I know how you feel about Brotherhood, but you can answer for both.
oh.
All right. What is your favorite episode or moment of either or both series? First one or Brotherhood?
Well, I saw Brotherhood first, so I'm trying to think like what scene was the one that really well. It's kind of weird because Fullmetal Alchemist, I saw bits of it, random scenes on TV during its Adult Swim premiere. So, but I never saw like the actual series all the way through. I tried watching it one time, like probably from 7 episodes on, back in the days on YouTube when people would upload episodes into 3 parts.
Hmm.
Remember those days?
I know, right?
But it wasn't until years later when Brotherhood got confirmed, when Funimation started subbing it, that's when I started reading the manga for it and then started watching the episodes. So I'm really trying to think of what scene really sticks out to me in Brotherhood. Mm, oh boy, that's a tough one. Fuck it. I'm gonna skip to FMA first, and I'll get back to you with Brotherhood.
Okay.
Um, so seeing Brotherhood first and seeing the original series, the first adaptation, the scene that shocked me the most that I did not expect to see at all was when they're going into the fifth laboratory, and then
Hmm.
Edward is carrying around the head of that knight. So at some point they get attacked by some chimeras, and then they're saying like, "Well, there's someone controlling them." Then not who, but what? And then you just hear this whisper. I'm thinking, who's this voice? Why does it sound so familiar? Then you just see that it's Shao Tucker, still fucking alive in the most depraved, deformed presentation you can ever give. Like, hello, Edward. And I'm just like, no, he's fucking alive. And then, what I liked about it, even though it differs from continuity of source material, that even the knight is saying that technically I was officially executed too, but look at me, I'm still here. And then so just yeah, so there's really no. Well, you do find that the Scar's the one that directly killed them, but here in this version, since you never see that scene, it's kind of a shock to see like this guy's fucking alive and he's still doing what he started before, and then he goes off to the deep end later.
Hmm. Oh, he went off the deep end before,
Yeah,
but he
yeah,
somehow
but
gets
it
worse.
just keeps getting deeper, and like he almost made Edward, fucking kill people, sacrifice them. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, that's one of many scenes from the first series that just really catches me. It really got me off guard. But Brotherhood, like favorite scene. Uh, I'm really trying to think of a scene that I would just undeniably like from all the ones that they showed there. Uh,
There's got to be one.
I know there's gotta be one, but for some reason I'm trying to think of something emotional, but it's just not clicking right at the top of my head.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one if I recall anything.
All right. Well, that's fine. We can move on to the next question. Now, this might be a little easier for you. What is your least favorite episode or moment of either or both series?
Um, something that I never liked in the first series was I guess some of the early bits was mainly the one with the Phantom Thief, and I remember you said that the other Elric brothers almost doesn't seem like necessary because
It kind of isn't.
and it's like, hey, they're brothers, we're brothers too. Let's hammer
Uh,
it in, brother.
I'm curious. That one did annoy me, but I didn't mind the Phantom Thief rewatching it. Well, why do you dislike that one so much? I'm
I don't
curious.
know. I just feel like it just feels almost pointless. It's one of those episodes that I feel that if it weren't for like a little piece of information, there'd be almost no need to watch it. It's
Hmm.
one of those that I hate that the whole thing that strings it together is that little piece of information to make it somehow relevant.
Yeah, I noticed actually going back and watching the other episodic stuff, which seems more like filler within the first anime. It actually does fit with the main story because every one of those episodes, there's a little bit of information that does tie to the main plot, but it's just like a line at like the end.
Yeah, just like a little line, like go there, okay. What
Damn it.
do I do now? Go over there, okay.
All right, well that was easy. How about Brotherhood?
I never liked the comedy in Brotherhood, so pretty much a lot of the scenes that are there. Actually, the one that bothered me the most, more than anything, was the when Alphonse, when it's something Alphonse about the gate, and they started going to gag mode with the like all the tentacle arms, saying
Oh.
like I just feel like you're kind of wearing down the seriousness of the scene, and then to make it even worse, it's like there's one scene in particular when Alphonse gets when he's carrying the snake woman, I forgot her name, but when she gets stabbed inside him, he passes out. He wakes up and he sees him covered in blood and everything. But then it's not even like a minute later, he starts going to like so Al, what did you see? Well, I saw those tentacle arms. Let me do the Hawaiian hula here. Just
Oh
I
man.
don't know. I just feel that it just kind of diminishes the impact of the scene, and then they see the original series where freaking Bradley just like, oh, I thank you, Alphonse.
Just walks away,
Yeah,
yeah.
like just like yeah, I'm a kid. Just do this in front of me. I'm not even part of the state military. God, shit.
You're right, it did kind of sabotage some pretty powerful scenes. That's
I
true.
may
That's
be
true.
big, but I'm still a boy at heart.
That's right. He's a kid, and you really get that
What the
sense.
fuck?
All right, now that was pretty good. Now, Hero, I want you to dig deep for some of these questions
Oh
because
damn.
you know me, I don't pull any punches,
Oh.
Hero. And this you can have a couple honorable mentions, but I want to hear it now.
Oh,
Okay?
damn, don't be so demanding.
I'm serious. I have to be.
Savage.
Sorry, Hero. Okay, the next question is, who is your favorite character?
Mm, to be honest, it's actually a kind of hard one because I can't really narrow it down. Because
Nope.
there are times where I kind of like Edward and I kind of like Alphonse, but Edward mostly is the 2003 version just because of the darker route he goes with, goes on a personal manhunt of getting rid of these homunculi,
Hmm.
especially the moments that involves Sloth. Those scenes are
Hmm.
pretty impactful with him turning his the one thing the one thing that he changed, which is the automail, which is supposed to be for medical purposes, and he changes it into a weapon, which is the gun. And he pulled the trigger, try in an attempt to kill Sloth, and there's moments like that. And then for
Hmm.
Alphonse, I just kind of like how he struggles with his humanity, trying to hang in there, basically. And it's basically the brothers are just trying to do something for each other. But then there's the Armstrong siblings, which so there's that. I mean, they're both
both pretty manly
they
and
both
well
steal the
manly.
scenes that they're in easily. I just kind of they're never like in the front lines though. And then what it kind of saddens me is that in Brotherhood, like Armstrong, the first time he ever meets Mr. Curtis is like way towards the end, so they
Hmm.
don't have that much like bonding. And, like their bonding like scene was nowhere near as hilarious or as in
And manly.
as the 2003 version to just flex and then just handshake.
Well,
And yeah,
I know you like the Armstrongs, and the thing is, even in the first show, they are he is actually kind of closely involved in things. He just doesn't get into the main stuff. In Brotherhood, they both get kind of closer into some of the main battle eventually.
just towards the end. But I don't know. I always kind of wish those characters were a little more like I feel like
Prevalent.
they feel like they're on screen enough, but I don't feel they ever take charge of the story like personally.
Well, you know what they are? They're both kind of just more mentor figures.
Yeah, I mean, even Olivia, like as Olivier, as angry as she can get, she was almost like a third mom next to Curtis, to
Hmm.
to the brothers, I guess, just to more like, well, who knows which one's more stricter.
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, but that's why it also kind of saddened me because they barely meet like towards the end. Also, it's like well, I guess we're gonna part ways, Mrs. Curtis, and then like father has summoned me. Oh boy, we can't interact anymore. And literally by that point, once like father gets the five sacrifices, whatever, like the
The
Armstrongs,
five plot points, yeah.
everyone just stops being relevant by that point. It's like oh
Well, no. Remember, it was like
yeah,
the main team was Hohenheim and Dr. Marco
yeah,
and Scar.
yeah, Mustang, Olivier, and
It was like,
that
yeah,
that other that elderly that elderly man.
yeah,
Yes.
Marco.
What? No, not Marco, but the other elderly dude, the one with the one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy who was just.
Randomly took
Yeah, it's
charge.
like. I guess it's a bit of a. I'm not sure that's a good or bad thing. The fact that he took over before Mustang did, and then Mustang, took over the spot pretty quickly in the first series. So,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
true.
know. Like you said it before, there's always like pros and cons, vice versa, which surprising with both series. So
It's true.
one has something that the other doesn't. So.
Well, I won't. That's very true, and I won't like go too far off from this question. I know we're already kind of delving into many characters as we do, but I'm surprised that you didn't say Mustang. He seems like a character you really like.
I don't know. It's like I never like gravitated too much toward him. I did like him, but it wasn't like a like favorite fanboy level. I guess I don't know
Hmm.
why what it was. Maybe he just stayed behind the office for too long, or because I know in Brotherhood they really were
Pushing.
they really were pushing the espionage and the tactics a bit more with the secret messages and with that. So I do appreciate like how Mustang works in both series, where I feel he's more fatherly towards Edward in the first series, especially
Hmm.
like the ways like I need to send you this assignment, like the train incident with the first, where he meets Mace Hughes, and then but then in Brotherhood you have the moment where he kills Maria Ross, and then it reveals to
Something
where
else.
it's like, yep, I'm actually cooler than you think, Edward. You owe me one.
Eh.
Full Metal Pipsqueak.
Don't call me Pipsqueak.
Yeah. So
But all right, so
yeah,
wrapping that up, it sounds to me, if I could get an official answer here, you probably lean towards the main brothers, but you also really like the Armstrongs.
it's some of them there. Probably Olivier number one out of the bunch.
Okay,
Yeah, probably.
because of those lips.
Yeah, those lips are, man, like they can sink the Titanic, man. That's how big those lips are.
It's a good way to draw the lips, actually. I do agree.
Yeah.
Now, here's a fun one on the flip side here. This is where you get more hate. Who is your least favorite character?
Hmm. I never
There's
liked the Chimera sidekick. Like I don't hate them, but I never liked them either. The Chimera sidekicks. A lot of
which
a
ones?
lot of
There's a couple.
a lot of the support characters in Brotherhood I just never liked, like the Xiao Mei or I never felt much of anything for Ling either.
I know that was technically the manga, but I always felt that whole plot was kind of
Yeah, I know the
forced
whole
in.
like the Yaka history thing. I'm like, I
Don't care. Isn't there enough plot in this
I don't
series?
know. I don't know. I just never really liked those characters that much.
I like the old ninja guy. He was cool.
The old ninja guy.
I forget his
I don't
name.
know his name. I think it was something Fu.
Yeah, it
I
was
want
Fu.
to say it was Fu, but
He fights Bradley, and
yeah,
that was cool.
I got a mustache and I'm a ninja.
That was his
Let's
thing.
see,
His
King
mustache.
Bradley, who has the manlier mustache?
And we know who did.
The Brad. It's the Brad man.
Uh, so, any of the particular chimeras you dislike specifically, or just them in general?
It's kind of easy how, comparing the slots together, it's pretty hands down. Like, who's more interesting than the other, but, and that's a show that I did not like the manly character this time around because he just didn't do anything other than, oh, it's like discount Jotaro to put it like, oh, what a pain. It's like, so, oh,
So you don't like their Brotherhood Sloth?
no, it kind of sucks.
Really? So you're like, wow.
Yeah,
You have to admit he's more accurate to the sin.
just because someone's like masculine looking doesn't mean it's gonna be an automatic like this character. Just really.
Well, he had no personality
he's
whatsoever.
Just a muscle. That's all he is.
That is true, and I don't really hate Sloth, but I mean he is like the most throwaway of like any of the villains in that
You kind
Brotherhood.
of said it best. Like I think it was probably that video, that long ass video you mentioned at the 30-minute thingy, where I recall you said that to think about this for a second, like Sloth is even more like less of a character than than fucking Gluttony.
It's true. Gluttony has more character.
Lust. Where's my lust?
Where's my lust? Like, and if you want to count Brotherhood, Gluttony has a lot more to do and has
Yeah,
an art.
like,
So it's like, yeah, Sloth kind of sucks. I'm sorry. Yeah, I agree with you there, man.
yeah, but let me think. A character that I just absolutely did not like at all. Let me think.
I guess the Phantom Thief lady, technically.
No, there's gotta be something more to hate on. I'm really trying to come up with like, is there a character that I absolutely did not like or couldn't stand at all?
Maybe it's a good show and you liked all the characters at least moderately. How about that?
Probably. I'm really trying to think. It's just the chimeras are just like they're extras. To me, I can never forget the moments when they're about to bust into the fifth laboratory, with the whole crew this time around in the daytime. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is shonen adventure. I'm thinking, this doesn't look like a battle shonen to me with all these guys. I don't know, the way, just like an odd looking lineup. This doesn't look battle oriented to me.
Honestly, when you look at them, you feel like you're in One Piece for a second.
Somewhat, but at the same time, it's like, it's not enough. It's like, it's not outrageous enough for it to be like that level, and it doesn't. It feels somewhere along the lines of less than Kenshin. I'm picturing like series like Mayor and Beat the Vandal Buster type of level where they're really trying, but at the same time, it doesn't look like it's that creative. But I don't know. Yeah, I can't come up with any characters that I just did not like at all.
All right, well that's fine. You told me some ones you didn't like very much, so that's fine. Now, this is a fun side category. Who is your favorite villain? The hardest question, perhaps.
I kind of want to say the first Sloth because that's kind of like a personal thing to me. Like, even though there's nothing bad going on with me and my mom or anything or the rest of my family, but I don't know.
Something about it
I
strikes a
just
chord.
feel that is nightmare fuel to me. With all honesty, just to have like your own parents have passed away, then just be
Drown you.
yeah, you're trying to basically reappear before you again as this monster. And then again, it's also the fact that they try to bring her back, but then that didn't work either. So the fact that this is his responsibility, I feel like I just feel that's the most personal fight that ever had to go through. That's kind of one of the reasons I just don't like Brotherhood that much, because it doesn't. None of the homunculi feel that they don't have that intimacy that Edward had in the first series.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely had less of that emotional impact. I agree. That's one reason why I think that the first series has a lot more impact, because the villains feel like they just impact the story more. So you think Sloth, hands down, from the first series?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that was easier. That wasn't what I thought, actually. I thought you were going to say Tucker, or maybe Lust.
Yeah. I was thinking of Envy and Tucker.
Which Envy?
What was that?
Which Envy?
I was thinking the first one just because once again, family blood bad blood
Well, I
between
mean,
the family.
I kind of thought I've always said that in the first series, Envy's kind of Ed's arch enemy.
Yeah, because there's one moment in particular where he throws the hissy fit baby tantrum when he's punching the ground. Like why didn't he? I don't remember his words, but he was like so mad, and that just kind of proves like how he just as emotionally as upset as Edward, I guess. So,
Yeah, he is. He really is.
just
He's the evil brother. Spoilers.
the discarded son. It's
Well, I don't want to go off on a tirade here, and I won't. But I mean, that's one of the things that's really is great about the first series is like they take something like one of the henchmen, like Envy, who is okay in Brotherhood, and they just make it this big, personal, huge part of the story. I mean, it's just
without
it's cool.
having him to go bigger. So
Yeah, it's just
yeah, because in Brotherhood, I still appreciate the fact that you can visually see the souls are inside him when he makes that transformation.
giant lizard monster thing. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So yeah, so there's that.
No, there were things about him I do like in both, but you're right, he's a good one, and I know Tucker, you just like because of the whole Nina
Yeah. I
thing.
mean, the Nina thing was bad enough, but the fact that he didn't die and he just kept going at it to the point where you can't help but kind of pity him at the end, where once he finally gets the body of his daughter, he's his brain, his mental his sanity is gone. And he's
It
saying
was
like look Nina, where is that dog? And like where is he? And just like oh, where's Alexander? I'm just like oh, that's how you know that he doesn't even realize what he's doing anymore.
that's that's disturbing, I tell you.
But then again, a lot of the characters by the end of the series are all kind of destroyed in some way.
That's
It's like
true, and
everyone's like fucked up.
yeah, it's fitting. All right, now here's a more shonen question for you, Hero.
Ah shit.
What do you think in either series is the best fight? So your favorite fight?
Um, was there is there an animation question in here somewhere or no?
Nope. More just best fight.
Oh, okay. Because well, I guess I'll mention it here because there's a couple of moments that come to mind. Is that I think my favorite one of the best pieces of action is just when King Bradley shows up in Brotherhood when he starts the moment he stampedes against the Tang and onward, all the little different duels he had like going from one foe to the next. I
Hmm.
think pretty much any scene that involves Bradley is probably like the highlight of Brotherhood. Like even the beginning when he was destroying Greed with that six sword style or how many swords he had. A one-time thing also. So there you go.
Of
So
course.
I don't, there's that, but there's actually another scene in Brotherhood is when Alphonse is fighting against Pride in the
Ooh,
daytime. Because
good fight.
the reason I say that because there's a really good piece of animation in that fight where I don't remember exactly in what order or what part of the fight, but somewhere in there, there's some moments where Alphonse is using like the ground to sort of, I guess is the best way to describe it, earth bend the earth surf around the arena. So he's like in the air with the ground, but there's a moment where it almost where he's seeing Pride from a distance from way high up, and it almost resembles if a viewpoint that you would see from a helicopter. So I just really like that little piece of animation that it really simulates that type of visuals. But overall
Yeah.
fight, it's probably I guess it'd have to be the Bradley scenes because I'm trying to think of moments with either Scar or maybe the Edward versus Greed fight. Actually, one of the things that always upset me in the first series, like this is, I guess this is a nitpick because in the
Hmm.
last opening, there's like this really cool scene in there. It's like, because remember, there's a part of the opening where Edward jumps off like a cliff. You see a rainbow and a waterfall and these like
Yeah.
temples, and you only briefly see those temples on the ground for like a few seconds in the actual episodes. I'm just like, come on, that looked like a really nice like from that point of the opening onward, it was just like some really beautifully looking action where you even see Alphonse like I'm not sure it's that opening or another opening. He just throws this stone and he's like Gloody's just running across the walls and you
Like
see
flying across
yeah
them.
yeah
Yeah.
and you even see Lust like somehow like running across the water like nearly slashing Edward. And then to top it off, there's also a part where they're inside the I guess you call it the dance hall. Like I'm not really sure what that room is. It looks like there's supposed to be like a stage play there, or either that, or supposed to be like like a ballroom or something with, or I'm not sure. So there's even a part of the opening where you see this really smooth animation of what was his name? Wrath. Yeah, this little Wrath. Where you see him like jump, charge towards the Edward and Alphonse, run towards the air, and he just midair flips, throwing his stretchy arms. And I just kind of always assumed that when you get to that point of the episode, there was gonna be like some off the wall action that like the highest point of FMA, and it never really got there.
Hmm.
It just didn't. I'm just like, it's a little bit of a letdown.
Well, that is one of the areas you could say that the first series, in terms of pure action and animation,
Yeah.
the fights aren't quite as good, but I guess they make up for the emotional
Yeah, they
impact.
did because you had like Dante with the whole baby thing, so I'm just like, oh, open the gate, and then all that shit where Edward just dying, and so there is that.
Yeah.
But I just kind of wish there was like a bit of a climactic battle and then leading up to that tragedy. But
Well, I guess there was a climactic battle with him fighting Envy, but he kind of loses.
yeah,
Sort of. Not really.
yeah,
You
I don't
know,
know. I just kind of wish they showed more of that
that fight.
underground temple scene. I just feel like it was a really beautiful looking, gorgeous scene, and it's never really utilized. It could have been like honestly, I think I know the ballroom is pretty iconic for like one of those I guess iconic anime scenes, but I felt
Mhm.
like that underground area would have been a much more of a like icon location for a final battle, kind of like how with Goku and Frieza it's a planet Namek on with lava and
Mhm.
all that. That's what stands out about that. Then
Hmm.
you get the
Interesting.
yeah. I don't know. I just feel that if you have an opportunity to make something last or be impactful, you might as well do it. Sort of
Hmm.
like because I mean, like in the first Batman movie, what do you got is the bell tower. So, and Batman Returns, it's the all that ice and well, I guess sort of it kind of applies the same thing with Superman with the ice. It's just
Ice everywhere.
yeah, and then like in Terminator also, it's always in a factory where the final battle is.
True.
So
Good
yes,
point.
that's what I'm saying. That there's some locations that are very significant, kind of like this actually reminds me when I was watching Jurassic World, where they go back to the
The park.
to the abandoned section of the park, which was the first movie, and you see like all the walls and pretty much all the stuff that was there, still intact. I just feel like some locations can have a power to them, sort of like how this one is probably not that good of an example, but Halloween Resurrection, where it takes place in Michael Myers' old house. So
There you go.
you see what I mean? Like there's some weight to it. And I don't know. I just kind of felt that there was more detail with that underground area, but then you have ballroom. Okay,
Ballroom. Yeah.
evil ballroom.
I guess for me, I guess the final fight with Dante in her like underground palace area with the giant circle is pretty cool
Yeah, this is
for a
something.
final battle.
I'm assuming that that's the same place where both her and Hohenheim became immortal. Where they had all these cages in this big room. So
Hmm.
I'm assuming that that's what that room was, but who knows?
Technically, in Brotherhood, that would have been where Xerxes was, which is kind of where they could blend together. But that's a whole nother thing. Well, I guess pretty cool little side thing there. That is a good point. Wasted potential. I agree. Now, I know you don't like to, put things in ranks because you like to see so many things, but my next question is where it ranks for you in your favorite anime. Now, if you're not sure, I guess maybe like what do you think the importance is of it, or where does it rank for you in terms of anime series or impact or what?
I'm not really sure because actually, for the past couple 2 weeks, I've been thinking about organizing favorite characters, and then I was thinking
Oh,
about favorite series.
ooh, okay, never mind. Never
Oh
mind
no,
then.
no, I'm not gonna make a video or anything. That's gonna be like
A brief thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I don't plan on making a video because one of the reasons because it's like how do you know when you're ready to do like a favorite list?
True.
When do you know for sure that you've seen enough anime, read enough manga, or
Sometimes you just
or
have to call it,
yeah,
man.
because I'm thinking like or even when you make the list, like chances are
Well,
will I change my mind like a few
Well,
years later?
hero. If you want just a tiny piece of advice, when I did a top 20 a while ago, and um, there are a couple spots that may have changed in like the time since then, but typically look at series that you can come back to and still like even like years and years later, and they probably have a spot in your in your top 20 for personal enjoyment at least. So don't. So I wouldn't say if you could say your top 20 or top 10 now, and it could change. You could always do another list. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
'cause I know, because I'm trying to figure out where to put the Full Metal Alchemist series, because
Well, if you don't want to answer that right now, I will wait for your video or
well,
whatever.
I could give an answer, but even then, it's still a big estimate. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
It's I want to say somewhere between 20 and 40,
Okay.
somewhere in there.
All right. Well, that's fine. I mean, that's not as hot. That's lower than I'd put it, but you know, to be
I
fair,
know for you, it's just like no hero. You gotta put it in your top five, not top 10, but
well,
top
no,
five.
no, 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 no. I can understand not in the top five, but if it were closer to top 20,
It's kind of
I'd appreciate
strange because there's some
it.
shows that I really really absolutely love, and then there's other shows that no matter how many years pass, the memories are still there, and I think that's the reason why I like the first series a lot more, even though I didn't see that immediately. And
Hmm.
I think a lot of people assume that if I ever make more FMA videos, that they assume that I saw the original one first, and that's why I hate the don't like the Brotherhood. No, it's actually the other way around. I saw all the Brotherhood all the way through, and then the other, I saw FMA, then rewatched Brotherhood, and I found myself not liking Brotherhood that much, and it's mostly the humorous aspect and the fact that it's a battle shonen. Just why?
And I want you to talk about that more on your channel
It
because
just
FMA is like just sort
uh,
of a conundrum for you. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel there's some things that just shouldn't be a battle series. That's how I feel like a comic a kill. Thinking like, oh, why are you going to battle shonen route? You shouldn't go there. I don't
All
know,
right.
but
Well,
but
uh, that answers that. So
I want to I want to keep going, unless
okay,
unless it's
go ahead.
another question or it's
Well, there is another question which kind of works with what you're saying, so hold the thought. But you're already talking about it, so the next question is, do you prefer Brotherhood or the original, and why? So continue.
yeah, okay, so it does tie in with that, yeah.
Yeah, it does
Well,
actually.
like even now, I'm still trying to think about what's my favorite Brotherhood moments. Like, actually, I think I could give you one, but it's not. It's a really dark scene, actually.
That's fine. I like
It's
dark.
purely for the music because there's this one track in Brotherhood called Anti-Meridium or Meridium. I don't know how it's the correct pronunciation, but
Some Latin, yeah.
it's basically the tune where when Father basically swallows the moon and the god. But the reason why I like that scene because that music just gives me chills because it starts off so slow, very slowly, and then it just gradually builds up to this frightening like atmosphere. That's what it shocks me because especially in the episode where everything just goes red and then people's souls are coming out. Everyone technically died for like about a minute or two. So,
Yeah,
so
it's pretty
yeah,
dark.
yeah.
I
'Cause
agree.
a lot of people like Father because of that, achievement. They're like, oh look, this guy killed everybody and
He hates God.
he
Yeah.
made the sun in his hand. For a few
Well, go on.
for a few seconds, the sun was his bitch. And then everything comes spitting out. It's like I think I'm gonna hurl. It's basically Spider-Man like with the Beyond with Doctor Doom and the Beyonder all over again.
Oh man, totally.
Yeah, like I just absorbed this god. Oh fuck, I can't keep it in anymore.
Oh, it's too much. Too
Oh.
much Galactus. Ah.
Yeah, so yeah, that too, and I just found it like very creepy all the time because like yeah yeah
Go
I
ahead.
guess I kind of want to play the music, but I guess just for
No,
yeah
please
I know
don't
I
for
know
copyright.
I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
for
yeah.
courtesy's sake I'll just save it after the recording.
Well, I'll tell you what.
But
If you send me the link, I'll put it in the description for the
yeah,
video.
well, so basically, there's actually yeah, no, okay, let me mute that. The thing is like, listen pretty early to the song. I'm just gonna give descriptions, because this is actually a song that kind of inspired me for a villain transformation to be like the for the stories that I'm writing.
Hmm,
The final boss type of thing where basically the final design is something looking like Demon Lord Dante. That's basically what you're supposed to see at the end. It's
nice.
basically like a man turning into that gigantic thing, like fucking Is that with this song? I get a lot of brainstorms and I start thinking because the first few bits kind of sound like it was starting to rain or something. You hear like
Hmm.
these small drops that gradually escalates, but at the same time when the music starts building up, I kind of imagine like flies just roaming around you like in this like gigantic swarm, and you see it like take form and it becomes like this gigantic. devil demon looking thing can
Hmm.
block out the sun.
Hmm.
Uh,
Quite an image.
Yeah, that's what I picture when I listen to this too, and that's kind of the reason why that's probably my favorite moment in Brotherhood, just because it's how I just find that scene fucking scary. But before that, though, there's like a really crappy moment before that shit happens. So,
Remind me what it was again?
okay, so he's about to, he has all the sacrifices in place, and he's about to, do the hand thingy, whatever. But then it's like he just imagine the Superman theme right now, like bum ba bum ba, and it's like it's greed. I'm here to save the day. I'm a fucking father, and then like, what? I'm just trolling you, Great. Turns
Another
out the
moment
spot's
ruined.
actually over here. I'm just thinking, like, well, that was just a pointless moment for. Wow, Grave, you must be embarrassed right now. Now that dramatic entrance led to nothing. Nothing.
All right, here. Well, I am curious. I guess you've already talked about it, but is there anything significant else you want to mention about how I guess the original Over Brotherhood or
Mm,
vice versa?
I feel Brotherhood tries kind of hard to be cool, because, especially with Greed, because that's kind of the reason why I don't like Greedling so much, because I feel like every time he tries to do something, he doesn't do anything. It amounts to almost nothing, really. Because, I mean, even when they're fighting against gluttony and pride in the darkness, you're like,
Hmm.
what good am I? Nothing. He leaves the fight. Like
Oh
he
wow.
also when that chameleon guy shows up, like, you're Mr. Greed, and then he kills him, and then he realizes who he is, so he's gonna go jump Bradley at his house, and for what? Like, he shows up as, like, he attacks the house for like a minute or two. It's like, ah, shit, now I gotta retreat. And like, I feel like almost every moment it's just he really doesn't help out at all. It's like, well, you're a crappy leader. Why are we following you? Because yeah, because even his moment is when he goes full armor, fighting against I guess fodder, and then the only moment he really had was towards his death when he was. Actually, even then, it doesn't really help because he's trying to decay Father, but even then, Father counteracts it by trying to absorb greed instead. It's like, you thought
Yep.
you could kill me, but now I could just rebuild myself or whatever. I don't know, rust himself or something. I don't know. It just kind of feels strange that, like, the character really tries to be like, yeah, you're supposed to be this really cool character, and he's a lot of people seem to think he's cool, but I just felt like they're just kind of epic fails.
It is kind of unfortunate. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why he's not around as much in the first series, but he is pretty cool
Well,
throughout.
yeah, but in the first series, he just has more of a defining moments because, like, I'm setting you on the path that you must take, Edward. You gotta kill the homunculi. I gave you your weaknesses. Why did I do all this? I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I'm still human. So
Aw.
there you go. See, like, even that's way more dramatic than, like, look at me, I'm dark and edgy. I even got a new
Yeah.
voice.
I'll be honest. I just got done watching that episode. I think that was like the. Man, I'll be honest. The episodes I'm at now, like in the series, are just really picking up, and it's getting kind of upsetting. Like like it's addicting. Like you want to
Yeah,
keep watching it, but I'm like, God,
yeah, you're
this
scared.
is really sad.
I
Or
know, you're
like
scared to
an
keep
Al like
going.
goes against Wrath and is like, I'm gonna kill you now because this is our time. Like, whoa, Al, like it's just I'm telling you here, it gets intense, man. It gets really
Yeah,
intense.
'cause, it's so depressing too. Because I'm like, you kind of want to keep going, but then you're too scared to keep going because I'm like,
Exactly.
like what am I
Exactly.
going into? What am I getting into? Because the reason I can say that is because now that I'm a pet owner, like I cannot, like I shit you not, it's been maybe 3 or 4 years since I saw Hellgirl.
Oh.
Because because I'm thinking, oh shit, it's too much. It's too, because especially for sure. The reason I was trying to watch it like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know how long ago. Like those discs are covered in dust right now because that's how long it's been. And the thing is with Hellgirl, one of the reasons why it stopped pretty early, like episode 3 or 4, very quickly you go into animal abuse, very
Mm-hmm.
quickly. And now that I'm a pet owner, and like, lately, ever since I turned 24, I just been like more. I don't know, just been more concerned about family and life and things, and like so. I can't go through that anymore. I can't watch that episode ever again. Really, like I don't think I have the stomach or the heart for it.
I
Yeah,
understand.
so that's kind of the reason. Like Hellgirl is like the to me, Hellgirl is the real life chapter chapter black. That's what Helgar anime is. It's like it's forbidden. It's like you only see that anime once. You can never watch it again
Hellgirl is really dark. That is true.
until it gets to season 3, where it just becomes a B horror.
Alright, yeah.
There are 3 vessels. It's just like, what happened? Like, this is the unnecessary horror sequel that it received.
Alright, Hero. Now, I'm going to die down with one last question here. Kind of reel you back in. Now, it's going to be hard again, and you might not be able to do it, but
Oh,
if you can pick one thing that you think makes the series so classic to explain why it's so popular and why it's so great, and heck, why even you like it so much, if you can narrow it down to just one element, so to speak.
oh.
I guess the major one for you.
I want to say something along the lines of heart and human struggles. Because there's actually another song. Well, it's not an FMA song or anything. It's an actual song with lyrics. It's from Machine Supremacy, and it's called Earthbound. And when I listen to that song, I think of various different movies or stuff of fiction that relates to. I guess the best way to describe it is what I call it. I'm not sure. I think you said one director from The Fly called it this, like, body horror.
Cronenberg.
Oh yeah, was that the term, body horror, or is it something
Yep,
else?
body horror. Yep.
Yeah, well, when I listen to that song, I think of so many things. I think from like RoboCop to The Fly to The Thing to FMA to even Berserk. Pretty much anything that involves like human struggles or the loss of humanity, like RoboCop is another one example. Just I don't know. I guess just the humanitarian aspects of the show is what really keeps it going, and that's why I really don't like Brotherhood as much, because it's just more action oriented and more. I feel they focus too much on setting up the plot and having all these steps, like kind of like Beware the Batman, where it's setting up all these steps to this climactic thing. But but the cost of that, I feel you lost a lot more emotion along the way, and which is kind of ironic because the whole series is about what it means to be human, and I don't feel Brotherhood explores that way too much. And that's kind of the reason why I prefer the first series, because there's different scenarios. Even with the early episodes, like with that alchemist that couldn't see that love was like just right in front of his eyes the whole time. So
yeah,
making all these puppet dolls try to capture that beauty that's long forgotten, and then obviously the Father Cornetto storyline, like the original scene with the parrot. Like that, it's like that's terrifying.
That's true body horror right there.
Yeah, just like, oh no. What's even worse, that even another example is when the Philosopher's Stone backfires on him, and then you see his hand gets meshed with these gears and all that. I'm like, oh. Then just the chimeras and everything. Just I don't know. I just picture that. I think it's possible that. What if if Cronenberg did Full Metal Alchemist? It would be a lot more fucked up.
Oh, it would be like all that stuff, all those types of scenes would be like the focus.
Yeah, it'd be like the Fly dream scenes over all the time. Every scene would be that disgusting because you always see like all these. I bet you not that the first scene where they were trying to bring back his mom, you would
shy away from it.
You would see the full detail of that. It'd be the thing. It'll be like the thing. Like the thing they found, like in the ice, where it's all deformed like that, but in motion.
Yeah, in motion, like shifting and just not quite human, and it truly humanity is literally lost, like on a physical level.
Fuck it. He should make a Full Metal Alchemist live action.
Ooh,
God!
Yeah,
he totally should, because I mean, all that crazy shit.
He probably could do it actually.
You can.
Oh,
watch
God.
it be a live action version of the 2003 anime.
Hero, then it would just be a straight horror.
Yeah.
Straight horror.
Like
I'd watch it though. I'd love to see that.
You know what? Fuck it. He should do all the. He should do Devilman also.
he should do like all the fucked up animation.
Yeah. All that. Do Evangelion live action.
Whoa. Oh, God, that'd be disturbing as fuck. Evangelion's weird as it is.
Yeah, Devilman. Yeah, actually, what I've heard once, like, there's 2 people I could think that could pull off a Berserk live action. One, like the Cronenberg dude that we just mentioned. 2, maybe Peter Jackson. Yeah, that's his name.
Like Dark Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, for the very least, you won't be worried about. Well, at least it looks like
Definitely. I think he can pull it off. Yeah.
So there you go. Like when people, you just, I don't know.
Well, Hero, you might not know this, but before he did Lord of the Rings, do you know what he primarily did?
What?
Horror movies.
Uh, well, actually, I was gonna ask, did Cronenberg ever do like a sci-fi horror? Or
Oh,
because
yeah, he did some sci-fi
I'm
horror
thinking
movies.
he could also do Battle Angel Alita if he wanted to.
Yeah, he could.
Because there's a
I
lot
mean, he
of
doesn't.
severed heads and spines and all that shit. I was like,
Yeah, he could definitely touch upon. He doesn't usually do like heavy sci-fi, but I'm sure he could make it work.
yeah. But
But
I think Full Metal should be like his priority.
I think it could be good if
So
he's
this it's
dark
gonna be
and
so
fucked up.
disgusting. You know what I just think? I think I don't know why, but I pictured the scariest character is gonna be Gluttony. I just
Ugh.
picture him being the scariest one of the
If he was,
film.
well, would he look like more monstrous or more like a
I
really,
think he should be a
really?
little. I kind of picture him to be like a little bit bigger, like a little
Ugh.
taller. I mean, but because he's a creepy dude. You got these guy with these huge long arms,
And these lidless, like
these
open white
yeah, and
eyes,
then he just mouth that just keeps opening and just
and just kind of like screeches
yeah. I just feel
loud.
like he's just gonna chew some shit out.
And imagine he bites somebody and just the acid starts like melting through as it does.
Yeah, like
Ugh.
oh, you know what that scene was? You know what he could do with that?
What?
The ending of The Fly. You know, with the acid junk.
Get with the arm,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So,
Oh,
like, oh, like you should picture Glenny take a bite out of someone's hand, and then you just see that, and like, oh
oh.
god, oh my god, yeah, we just got gold here.
Yeah, maybe somebody should like send him a letter like, hey, want to do a live action, you know?
Live action Full Metal Alchemist, Cronenberg.
Hey, I'm sure he'd be up to it.
Actually, I don't know why, but now I'm actually picturing Alphonse would probably look even Alphonse might look even more grittier. I
Hmm.
don't know why. I just kind of feel that it might.
Well, he wouldn't be able to have as much of the obviously the cartoony lighter faces. He'd
Yeah,
just be like this stern, frightening. Because if you think about it, the expression or laughing expression on the armor is kind of intimidating.
so maybe I'm just kind of wondering how Armstrong would be. It's gonna be so out of place. He's the comic
He'd
relief
be
when he comic
the
relief here.
he'd be the one character that is comic relief.
Yeah,
Oh shit! All right, well,
yeah.
that's very frightening, Hero. Actually, it's a good idea, but scary. All right, well, I'll end with one quick bonus question. Is there anything about FMA, like just one thing that really, in general, really bugs you that you don't like, that holds it back for you?
Let me think. I don't know. I kind of have like for some reason I tend to struggle in trying to find a favorite character within the series. But I think that might be more of a personal reason because I know for you it was Alphonse. I think that was
Mhm.
favorite character, and then I know I think a lot of people seem to have an easier time figuring out who their favorite character is, and maybe it's because since FMA is like really up there with their favorites, and for me somehow somewhere it's like somewhere in the middle. It's because even recently I've been trying to think about where does Dragon Ball fit into my favorite thing because it's kind of like it's always gonna be there, but I kind of feel that Dragon Ball might end up being like just number 50 just because of how much my tastes have changed and I don't know. FMA though, I kind of feel like it's somewhere much higher than that.
Hmm. All right.
I don't know where to put it because it's like I really like its story and the themes it goes into, like how it doesn't shy away from the most fucked up areas, even if it's like somewhat tamed, like the whole idea with Rose being like violated and then ended up giving birth to that also. So like she went through that, and then how Edward's very first adventure ends up coming back to bite him. So
Mm-hmm.
there's just a lot of stuff that I just really like, and it's kind of weird because yeah, I don't know. Because the only other series I can think of where I really appreciate how dark it is, but I have a hard time finding a favorite character or a favorite thing is the Gray Man. Like just the path,
Hmm.
the whole idea. Because the Gray Man is so similar to the first FMA about so many reasons, especially with the Homunculi and the Akuma. The fact that you have this literal devil-like character that can bring anyone back from the dead, and then
Mm-hmm.
it comes back to bite you immediately. And for Alan Walker, he ends up becoming like the savior of both humans and the fallen, the deceased ghosts. So I just really like the path. I just feel like Edward and Alan Walker are examples of characters that they really go to like the deepest pits of hell, to the most awful side of humanity. So I guess that's the best way I can put it. But
So, but basically, you're saying that there isn't really one thing you think that's particularly bad. It's just that it's very good. It's just you
Yeah,
appreciate
I
it.
don't know. I think it's just me. I just can't figure out like what I really like more than anything from it. Yeah.
But well, you know what? The thing about FMA, which I think is one reason why a lot of people like it a lot, and a lot of people might actually have a hard time liking it as much, is for a similar reason. I think that it's one of those series that it's more about hitting a lot of things really well, as opposed to like one unifying thing.
Yeah.
You know that like for instance, with Dragon Ball, I think for a lot of people it is the over-the-top action, or with something like One Piece, it's the really unique world, or Bebop, it's the coolness, the soundtrack, or the main character. Like there's usually like one or two major things that people can gravitate to. I think that FMA tackles a lot of things. It does a lot of it really well, so people might like it for a lot of different reasons. That's my theory, though.
Mm,
But Hero, you did a good job. You answered all the questions, and I liked your answers. Good job.
yay. Do I get a
Uh,
sticker?
you get a Merlin sticker. I'll place one there. Boom. Excellent. Well, thank you for joining me on the MerlinCast, Hero, and I'm sure I'll have you again on the channel at some point. And I'd like to be on your podcast sometime. Is
Well,
it the
well, I could put this up on my channel too. Like I could give you the recording and we could just put it both on both.
Oh, if you'd like to,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah. Well
We
then,
could do another podcast of some sort.
oh, I'm sure we will. Actually, that's always good. Unless you want to say goodbye, Hero, and that could be the official
Yeah,
ending.
I guess I'll say goodbye to everyone, and I hope you enjoy the video.
Yes, hope you enjoy hearing the Anime Hero talk about FMA for an hour. I know I did.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, see you.